All right, let me introduce you to Stony StoneBreaker. He's actually Everett's Tony StoneBreaker. NASA, one who worked with rockets in NASA. I wouldn't say rocket scientist because I can say that. He's an engineer, so electrical engineer, but an entrepreneur now in multi-commercial real estate, a lot of other things. He also does financial advising. But I'll let Stony introduce himself, what he does, his background, and what he's doing now. So Stony, kind of introduce yourself.
Well, Roger, nice to be with you today, and really appreciate it. And I'm honored to be on your program. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my background is educationally, I'm an electrical engineer and have an MBA also. And a long time ago, I never really had a really strong interest in real estate until somewhat into my career. But my first interest when I was young was technology and electricity and so forth. While I was in college, I had a couple of really great experiences. One was helping to build an electric car, which we built and entered in a car race and drove it from Boston to St. Louis. And then the other good experience I had was working for NASA, for IBM on a NASA contract during the Apollo program, and worked on the Saturn V. So that was really a great experience for me, and I can get into that later. But then as I got into my career in technology, I got into the telecommunications field and learned about fiber optics. Well, actually, I'd learned about fiber optics in college too, when I was doing some research for a physics professor, and got into telecom and managed networks and whole facilities and so forth and departments for, first of all, some airlines and then the utility that I worked for, and was able to also help them start some related but diverse businesses. And so I went through that for most of my career. I got interested in real estate during that time period when I read a book by William Nickerson called How I Turned $1,000 into $3 Million in Real Estate in My Spare Time. So that was kind of a really good introduction to all the advantages of real estate. But I was so involved with my career that I spent most of my time on that and only invested a little bit. I invested in North Carolina and in Florida in some single family rentals and some things like that, but not a whole lot. I got through my career and then retired about 15 years ago now, 15, 20 years ago. And at first I was involved with advising early stage and startup companies in different types of markets and so forth. And then I rediscovered my love for real estate. And so I got back into that. And about 5 years ago, a little more than that, I restarted that, got my license, but then that sales side of it kind of interfered with the investing that I wanted to do. So I've been investing in commercial real estate ever since. So that's kind of a quick background there.
Awesome, Stony. So now you actually help people not only invest in real estate, because we talked before, you kind of went into there's multiple ways to invest, and don't just concentrate on real estate. Real estate obviously is a great tool,
Yes,
evergreen tool. But you talked about that. So now you educate and help people invest in real estate or other revenues. So kind of get into that. Who can you help and who should connect to you? Kind of, that route. So.
Sure. Yeah, well, I think that investing for building wealth and for preserving wealth or building your own wealth is really a diverse and balanced approach is the best. And while I love real estate and I'm moving more of my resources into real estate, I think, as I said, you got to have that balanced approach. And let me say, before I get much further, that I am not a financial advisor or an accountant or an attorney. So, we have all that. What I try to do is help people become a better investor and to build a better portfolio that they can use that's mostly passive for people because most people have a W-2 job, of course, and they're trying to save money and do better for their families or them and their families. And I think that if you start early enough, which is one area that I didn't do well enough, and that's why I try to focus on starting very early in your career, in learning more about financial literacy. We try to help our investors become better investors through improving their financial literacy. And so what we do is we try to help them identify the areas where they should consult with their own accountant or their own a tax attorney for asset protection or for taxes or for their financial advisor, and try to ask them the questions. We kind of help them identify what those questions are that they should ask these advisors and these professionals, so that they can know themselves what's best for them and make their own decisions. Again, I'm not a fiduciary and I can't advise them on a lot of these things, but I know enough by investing myself over the years that I can help them identify what topics they ought to bring up and what they ought to look into, so that they can develop a better portfolio for themselves.
Awesome. So yeah, if you are looking for, obviously real estate investing, reach out to Al, if it's Stony, that he can help you there. But, looking to diversify, and he can obviously, like he explained, help you there, advise, how to do it or who to ask the right questions, like he explained. So reach out to him through LinkedIn, or I will be posting his website too, when I post, video. So reach out to him through that. So either way. Awesome.
Yeah, I will say that we have an ebook that on our website where we identify how we identify good investments in commercial real estate for people. And so that we try to preserve capital and so forth. And we have some rules that it's called the 4 Rules for Investing for the New American Dream. And it's on our website there if people want to get that. And while I think of real estate as commercial, especially commercial real estate, income producing real estate is the best way to build passive income over time, especially because of all the advantages that you have with income and tax advantages and so forth. I think it can be supplemented with some other ways to look into building wealth. And so that's why I talk about that education aspect, although my business itself is investing primarily in multifamily real estate and in various states in the Southeast.
Awesome. All right. As I said, yeah, you can download the ebook. I'll post that link too, so if you can download it directly. So last 2 questions, Stony. So now you're retired. I mean, you should be enjoying life, but something inspires you to get up and do what you do every day. So what is that? What is that inspiration that makes you get up and do what you do every day?
Well, I always love to learn new things, and I've always done that. I read a lot. I keep on learning new aspects of things, and I just enjoy getting up and looking at I have courses that I subscribe to. I have Udemy courses that I do and I look at, and but real estate, I mean, there's so much involved there to learn that I enjoy that. And so what I'm doing is building out this kind of the website and our resources for our investors who join us, and helping them build out their own portfolios and learn more about all these different aspects. And there's so much involved with personal investing that it's taken me years to get to the point where I am now. And I didn't have these kinds of resources when I was going through my career, because first of all, I'm so ancient that there was no internet back in the day, of course. And in fact, what I did with NASA was use a system where we sent some early messages over to different places that were involved with NASA. And that was some of the predecessors to emails. But there's so many resources right now available to people that I think it's important that people get their financial literacy, improve that, because you don't learn it in school, and you've got to have your own personal motivation to build this up. And so I'm trying to help people do that, and that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy looking into more of these topics in more detail myself, so I can make sure that people understand and pass on any questions they should be asking their professionals as well. And we use some professionals ourselves, and people want to use those, that's fine too. And we we can point them to those people as well.
Awesome. All right. So with your long experience, you done a lot of stuff, startups, businesses, real estate now. With all that, I'm sure you got a lot of tips for a lot of people, right? So, but what's the one tip that you can share that has, helped you a lot, even recently, and that can help everybody? I mean, it can be personal life, it can be, financial, whatever, business. What's the one tip you want to share?
I think I have a curiosity about people and who I meet, and I really enjoy hearing their stories. No matter where they're from or how old they are. I mean, I enjoy talking to people and learning about their stories, and they seem to, like that, and it comes across as well, it's a sincere interest. Because what I do is I ask people about their backgrounds, where they're from, that kind of thing, and then it seems like I've always been to a place where they're from or where they've been born or things like that, and so it creates a good a relationship, and I really think that people, if they had to took an interest in people closer and really had an interest in developing that relationship, we all get along a lot better, of course, but I think that has helped a lot.
Awesome. That's a great tip. Being curious about people, if you're networking, that's the number one. That's something I learned too. Being curious about people. You learn a lot, first of all, and then that endures to them because you're really interested in learning about them. So awesome tip. Thank you, Stony, for taking the time. Again, I'll be posting all the links for Stony. Reach out to him. Hey, if whatever he said rings with you, and then he can help you, reach out to him and connect with him. As you can see, he loves to get to know you. So, talk to him.
Well, great, Roger. Nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.